Welcome to Wildly Successful. I am your host, Petra Colson, a fellow business owner, a mum, and someone who has far too many ideas for my own good. On this podcast, we are diving deep into what it takes to build a business you truly love. One that brings not only financial success, but also the freedom to live a life that makes you genuinely happy. Join me as we explore topics such as business strategy, marketing, mindset, and everything between. You can expect actionable advice and real conversations with incredible business owners that will motivate you to take your business to the next level. So, if you're committed to building your wildly successful business, you're in the right place. Hello, and welcome back. If you are listening to this in real time, I hope you've had a wonderful Easter weekend. We had a very slow, relaxing weekend with family, lots of chocolates. It was exactly what we needed. In today's episode, I wanted to talk to you about personal branding, which is a hot topic in my world at the moment. And I wanted to rewind the time a bit and take you back to about 6 or 7 years ago when I was running my events business. I was working on a project with someone and they told me, Petra, you are more of that behind the scenes kind of girl. And I remember smiling and nodding, but honestly, it felt like a gut punch. Because what do you mean with me being more of a behind the scenes kind of girl? Growing up, I was the girl who would put on shows in the lounge room with my sister. I loved being creative and expressing myself. And I had no issues with being seen. But I feel like along the way, that version of me just got quieter. Maybe it was motherhood or starting my business or responsibilities of being an adult and life in general. And it had me sort of leaning into more of the doing over the showing up and being expressive. And later on in business, I also worked with someone who made me feel like it wasn't okay for me to be the face of my business. Like being visible somehow made me arrogant or like I thought I was better than others. And it was very subtle, but it was that classic tall poppy syndrome energy, like don't be too shiny, don't stand out, stay humble, keep your head down, work hard. And that showing up as me, fully me, just wasn't allowed. And I'm sharing this because I have had so many conversations lately with founders at different levels of business, people that are running startups to multi-million-dollar businesses, and they're all resisting stepping into the part of their business where they build a personal brand. And logically, we know the benefits of building a personal brand and becoming the face of our business because all you have to do is look at some of the most successful businesses, and most often there is a strong personal brand behind that business. Yet, we keep resisting. We keep listening to the internal conversations around how is this really going to help my business? I am not really looking to become famous or an influencer. And they're wondering if people really care about them and their vision, and why would that lead to a more successful business? Over the past 4 months, I have worked with this incredible business coach that has really helped me shift some internal beliefs around this. And I realized that there are things that have helped me from showing up fully as me and really leaning into this idea of building a personal brand. So this year I have decided that I'm going to stop hide behind my logo. I'm going to show up for my business, and it is about strategy, it is about connection, and I think ultimately just being able to help more founders, because people don't just buy from businesses, they buy from people. And we know this. Yet we resist it so much. I also believe with the quick development of AI, how fast things are moving, how easy it's becoming to create content, it is going to be even more crucial for service-based business owners, coaches, and creatives to show up as the face of their business and to start developing that personal brand. And I want to get really clear here, because building a personal brand isn't about being famous. It is a strategic way to attract the right people to your space. And I read this online. Personal branding is the intentional, strategic practice of defining and expressing your value. So think of it this way. You have a solution to a problem and you want to help more people solve the problem. So you need to get in front of more of these people to have more impact. And the amazing thing with a personal brand is that you can do that by just being yourself, by just showing up with your voice, your values, your quirks, your energy, just your mission. And it's giving people a way to connect with you. It's giving them a way to connect with a person. And that is what's creating that trust. And we can look at these incredible founders such as Alex Hermosi or Brendan Burchard or Russell Brunson or Brené Brown or whoever you look up to. And you can see that they've all built personal brands to amplify their businesses. So building a personal brand isn't about starting a new business. It's literally just showing up as you with your values and showing the world what you're trying to do. And that can be done for any industry. When I started to look at a personal brand as in, I want to make sure that I help the most people possible through our services. And if building a personal brand helps me in that mission, I'm going to do it. So how do we do this? Here are the things that I have done to get started on building my own personal brand. The first thing that I did was I sat down and I got really clear on what makes me me. When people come across my personal brand, I want them to associate me with entrepreneurship and building a freedom-based business. But I am so much more than that. I am also a mum of 2 young kids. I love personal and professional development. I love interior design, traveling. And although I will focus on my core theme or my core pillars, which is entrepreneurship and freedom-based business, I am also going to let people in on the other parts. The next thing that I did was defining my own core values and my vision for my personal brand. I want people to connect with me because we share similar beliefs or similar values. And I want it to be really clear for people what I stand for and why I do what I do. The next step was to get really clear on who I'm talking to. So when I show up and I create content and I talk to people, I want to talk to the people that I'm trying to attract into my business because it makes sense. They are the people that I'm trying to help. So I want to know who they are and what type of content they're attracted to so that I can show up and serve them better. After this, I got really clear on my brand identity. So this is my voice, my tone, my aesthetics, how I want people to feel when they engage with my content. This is what will stop them when they're doing that scroll and they see something and they go, oh, that's Petra's content. I want to stop and have a look at this because they know that that will bring them value. The next step was creating my brand story. Why I do what I do, the experiences that has really shaped me as a business owner, the parts of my journey that makes people feel like they can relate to me. The next step was deciding what channels I want to show up on. So I'm picking the platforms where my audience is already at. For me, that is podcast, emails, and Instagram to start off with, but this will grow as I'm building my brand as well. And the final step where I feel like most of us get stuck is just getting started. For me, what this has looked like is creating a system that works for me because I'm not a full-time content creator or influencer. I am a busy business owner. Just like yourself, I have a million things on my to-do list. I have a family and I need to find the time to create this content. The only way for me to do that is to have a really good system in place and to have my team supporting me with 80% of the process so that I can show up and just create, and they will do the rest. I'm really excited to keep sharing what I learn on this journey, what's working and what's not working, how this is evolving. But here is what I know so far. Building your personal brand is not about ego. It's not about being famous. It's about stepping into your business 100%. It's about amplifying what you already have. And it's about being okay to show up as you. Until next time, have an amazing week. Keep building that wildly successful business, whatever that looks like to you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this conversation. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.